What is going on, guys? My name is Nostalgia FPS, and in today's video we have episode 1 of the COD Corner. This is an Xbox 360 era COD show. It's basically a 10-minute solo podcast. In the background we'll be having retro CODs, so that can include Call of Duty 2 all the way through Call of Duty Ghost, Advanced Warfare. You might even see some newer CODs, like all the way up to Black Ops 4, but in the meantime, it's just going to be some nostalgic COD content for you guys here in the background. There's not a lot of news surrounding these old school COD games, but there is an active community in just about every one of them, so I want to highlight some of the best gameplays, news, and other fun stuff coming out of each of them as best as I can. So this show should cover topics throughout the various games, strategies and ideas for the different clients that these games have, and there can be fun stories throughout the world and the internet revolving these games. There's tournaments and cash games and all different kind of stuff throughout the community that happens just on a smaller scale. So for today's episode, we have some Black Ops 1 gameplay as a low level. I just prestiged. I'm Prestige 1 on here, which is a super cool Prestige icon. Black Ops 1 has some of the best Prestige icons ever, and Prestige 1, I hadn't played a single game on Prestige 1 until today, but I got up to level 6, so you'll see 2 or 3 gameplays in the background. Playing through these low levels on Black Ops 1 is terrible because the default classes are all really bad except for the MP5K class, but I kind of had like a revelation that the guns aren't what is important, it's the perks, and at level 3 you get a Dragunov class that has Ghost, and that is way more important than any of the starting guns on the default classes. These old COD games have such a prevalence of enemy UAVs because the UAV is one of the most powerful perks in all of Call of Duty. 3 kills and you get to see where everybody is on the minimap, unless they have Cold-Blooded or Ghost, as this game calls it. So level 5, I was just trying to get a single kill with the Dragunov and then just, use somebody's FAMAS or AUG, whatever OP gun that Black Ops 1 has. Speaking of why people use certain guns, I feel like in these old school COD games, there's kind of a hive mind to a lot of people. People die to like the FAMAS and they think, oh shoot, I gotta use the FAMAS, that guy killed me with it. But as you rank up, I would encourage you to look at the stats that each gun has. It's a nerdy thing to say, but I mean, if you're competitive by nature, then you're bound to look at stuff like that. Marvel 4 is the name of a guy who extracted all the stats for different weapons, and he puts them on Excel sheets. The AUG and FAMAS have fire rates identical to each other. I think it's in the 900 range. They have the fastest fire rates for ARs. I don't know what the other weapons are. I think, of course, the SMGs have faster fire rates, especially with the rapid fire attachment. But as far as the assault rifle goes, which Black Ops 1 is a very assault rifle dominant game, those two have really fast fire rates, and then the DPS from the Commando and the AK-47 are really good. But if you look at the stats, you can really find different advantages that weapons have, especially just like looking at like the sprint to fire times. Like these stats go crazy in depth. There's always like different angles that you can have for each of your creative classes if you look at this stuff. The maps in this video are Villa and Firing Range, also maybe Nuketown, depending on how long I talk on this. These maps are really nostalgic to me. They have such a unique vibe from all the other Call of Duties. Like, there's no other map where you're in the Cold War era and you're playing in this like little Havana where, I don't know if there's certain words on YouTube I'm not allowed to say, but certain regimes were in control at that time. And it's definitely like very ingrained within history. I think that there's like a really cool nostalgic aspect to the Black Ops 1 maps. But moving right along into one of the tentpole topics of the COD Corner, we're going to be talking about the gameplay of the week. So the gameplay of the week is not necessarily something that happened like, in this calendar week or this calendar month. It's just something that happened recently within the community, something that was posted and seems to have happened in 2023 or whatever year this show continues until. So the gameplay for this week that we want to highlight is a Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. It comes from Zay, aka Jickers, and is a solo TDM double. He's playing on Terminal, which is probably one of the best maps to do it on. I would say that of the hardest achievements in COD multiplayer, getting a TDM double, it has to be up there. I would say it's harder than getting like a TDM double nuke in Modern Warfare 2. Like on Modern Warfare 3, you have to get 48 of 75 kills as a solo player. If you do it with teammates, it's fine. Like it's still a big accomplishment, but it's not as impressive as doing it solo like Zay does in this gameplay here. With a solo TDM double, you have to have bad teammates and bad enemies. The luck-based factor is definitely there. You definitely have different things that you can't control, but you have to have a certain level of skill to be able to do this. Let's say you play TDM all week. Like, the amount of people that are going to get a single Moab is pretty low. Getting a double Moab is just insane. On Modern Warfare 3 console as well, in any game mode, whether it's domination or anything that has any kind of active player base, if you're not actively spawn trapping, getting a double Moab is very challenging. No game lasts longer than like 10 minutes, 12 minutes if you're super lucky. So getting any kind of a double Moab on console Modern Warfare 3 is really impressive, but doing it in TDM is just, it's another level of challenge. Getting a double Moab on console, in my eyes, is a lot more impressive than getting a double Moab on PC, specifically Plutonium, for a couple of reasons. The state of Plutonium right now is basically pick your own custom match. My friend Blake, aka Swarms, he calls it a custom match because in each different server, you have a different set of rules, and on top of that, you have a time limit that extends past 12, 15 minutes for some of those servers. So you'll have a server like Maniacos. If you play on Pluto, you'll know Maniacos from Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3. On there's players that have been banned by the server owner that are notorious campers. They were never cheaters. They were never anything like that. This guy's name is RJ California that I'm talking about. So many people complained about RJ California because they killed him off their streaks that the owner just outright banned him. On console, that just doesn't happen. Like you can't control the player base. The other thing about Maniacos is for Modern Warfare 3, when you have Specialist bonus on PC, you get proficiencies that you are not supposed to on console. The two that make the biggest difference are Impact and Damage. Impact is one of the best proficiencies in all of Call of Duty because the flinch that you get, the enemy flinch is insane when you shoot a player with Impact. The other thing is Damage, which is more overpowered than Impact for sure. Damage makes the time to kill even faster. The MK14, for example, it's a 2-shot kill to the torso. On Maniacos, with Specialist bonus, it is a 1-shot kill to the torso. It breaks the game. I'm happy to play PC, I like playing Pluto, but the gameplays that come from Pluto, they're just not as impressive as console because it's not vanilla. There's not the random factor that comes with matchmaking and having your own set of custom rules and like banning certain players that shouldn't be banned. It just makes console more difficult. In general, a gameplay from console, like stock vanilla, they're playing on a non-modified console, they're playing on controller. To me, it means they had to work a lot harder, and that's just a matter of opinion. So the last portion of this podcast has nothing to do with Call of Duty. It's the topic of the week, and the topic this week is snakes. So some people, for some ungodly reason, love snakes and prefer to have them as pets. Now, keeping snakes is probably fine, but the hobby of keeping snakes can get dangerous depending on if the snakes that you have are venomous. It's even worse if the snakes that you're keeping are both gigantic and venomous. In that case, what the hell are you doing? There's one story that, it's like an old internet story, but I found it absolutely crazy. It was this guy who was so proud of his boa constrictor. Big old snake, it's just so friendly, he just loves it so much, and he's got his family, and his family grows up and gets to know the snakes, just like how a dog would know a newborn child. So he's just trying to get his family comfortable with the snakes, and this boa constrictor would lay out every single day next to the child, and he takes this picture and posts it to the internet, like, look how nice and docile and peaceful my boa constrictor is. He just lays out next to my child. And some of the quote-unquote internet experts, but the people in the comment section, they're like, hey dude, the reason that boa constrictor is laying out next to your child is he's sizing it up to see if he can eat it in a whole bite. Now, if that story did not convince you that snakes are the most awful thing on the earth, let me tell you about cobras. Cobras are a dangerous, venomous snake, and a cobra, you don't want to be in a situation where you've scared one, because I don't think a cobra is gonna like manhunt you or something like that. But if you spook it and you startle it and it bites you, you're probably gonna die. And in India, they had a problem with snakes so much that the national government, they put bounties on the cobras. Like if you kill a cobra and you present it, then you'll get some money in return. So the bright people of India are like, money for dead cobras. Okay, I'm going to start breeding them, and I'm just going to be able to kill them whenever I want. I mean, hey, it's free money. So then the Indian national government, they're like, oh, okay, we've made a mistake here by incentivizing people to kill snakes. They've actually just decided to breed them and take advantage of us. Well, we're going to remove the bounty. And that was a huge problem. Instead of people holding on to the cobras or killing them off, they just release them. If there's not money for them to be made, they just release them back into the environment. And so in India, they had a problem initially with cobras, like there were too many. Then there's a massive spike because of these breeders. And so if you're taking a dump in India, you got to lift up the toilet to make sure there's not a cobra inside of it. There's all kinds of problems in the world, but I'm thankful in the United States that when I lift my toilet seat, I don't have to check for cobras. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video, if you guys want to see more. I don't normally set like goals, but if you guys are still here listening to me, if we get 20 people to like this video, that would be insanely awesome. That is going to be it for me, though. My name is Nostalgia FPS. Thanks for watching. Peace.